Right. Welcome to our today's coaching session on a very important subject. And this coaching session is in connection of the series Find Yourself, Finding the Voice and Discover Yourself. And today we are going to have fifth session in this series. And topic for today is who we are. Am I a physical being or spiritual being? So this is very important and very crucial information I'm going to share with you. So we arrange this coaching session every Sunday 8 p.m. And everybody is very welcome, and you can join our Google Classroom free of charge, and where you can get a lot of resources. In this particular session, I took some of the images from Dr. Stephen R. Covey's famous book, The Eighth Habit. So, and mostly content belongs to my own, but some of the images and is in interpretation from the book. And also, we need to respect the privacy of other people. We need to mute our microphone all the time, and any video or audio question is very welcome. You can raise your hand if you have any question. And so I will warn you, or who are the watcher of this coaching session, that many information in this session will be very upset, possibly. It's a radical as well. Maybe some people find offensive, but my intention is to give you the information and take your mental level to the next level, where we can find the true happiness. So sometimes the truth is a little bit bitter, and we need to accept it if we are very serious about our life. So my apologies in advance if you feel any hurt, or you find any information which is you are not expecting. So let's begin the session. Now, first of all, we need to know about who I am, who you are as a human being, and what makes our human being. It's a very subjective question, but on the top of our head, we know that everybody is human, and we know what is human means. And we know that every human has five senses. So these five senses are obviously smell, we can see, we can hear, we can taste, we can touch, and obviously all our five senses are directly linked with our brain. And that brain interpret different information from all senses and give us the information to respond accordingly. Now the question is, what brain is the brain? I mean, who is guiding the brain? Who tells the brain that if you see any that type of scene, you need to cry, you need to laugh, you need to respond, you need to move your body, you need to do this emotion? Who is guiding the brain? I mean, brain itself is a physical object, physical entity, isn't it? So if the brain is telling something to do, it means that somebody or some external thing is guiding the brain. Does that make sense? Well, many people can say, well, it's not as it is like you saying. Brain is the final authority who is guiding every human being to respond based on the five senses perception. Is everybody think about and say that. Well, many people who thinks that there are other external entity outside the brain. For example, many religious people or many spiritual people think that there is external entity that called God or supernatural powers that they guide the brain, and the brain actually respond accordingly based on the perception received by five senses. Uh, yeah, it's not bad interpretation. I think so. It close to what uh, what it should be, because it's a physical object. The brain, there is brain inside our skull, right? And that is just a mass. It's a made of atoms, molecules, neurons, and that's it. There is no life in the brain. Yeah, if when the person die, then that brain dies as well. So I want you to look into the physical reality which I'm telling you, which is a brain with the five senses. Now look into the other thing as if you see around you where you are listening me, you are watching me in this coaching session. You may be in a room or in a living room or in a drawing room or somewhere, and there are some objects around you, isn't it? Maybe there are some human beings around you. Okay, there are a lot of objects around you. Okay, and you can see them, you can feel them, you can smell them, you can uh, feel them. Okay, let's take the example of this. It's an apple. Okay, now apple, we everybody knows that the apple is a physical reality. Okay, when I say the physical reality, it means that I know that it's apple. I can touch it, I can feel it, I can taste it, I can cut it, I can know its texture, I I can see its color. So that all make it apple, and I know everybody knows it's an apple. It's a physical object, and that is perceived by my five senses. It's very simple, isn't it? Okay, right. Yeah, you are right. You are very right about it. This is a physical object. Um, and also, it has been grown on a tree, which was a living object. Tree is a living object, living organism. Okay, but what about if we cut this apple into tiny particle? Imagine, let's you grinding now apple into a grinding machine. Now this apple has turned into another form of matter, which we call apple juice. Very tasty. Okay. Now this it means that this physical reality has turned into another physical reality, isn't it? Okay. Now, yeah, now it's turned into the liquid. Now, if I will more heat up that apple juice, that will turn into gases. Gas. It will evaporate completely, entirely, isn't it? And you will never have this again, this apple object. Now the question is where apple disappeared. It was a physical object, but now there is no, now it had law, according to law of conservation of energy or other theories, modern theory in 21st century, this apple has turned into energy, and that energy has disappeared into the universe. Yeah, and we cannot get them back. Okay, that's fine. Uh, right, but somebody who gave the taste to the apple or who make the texture of apple. I don't know how, what makes the apple round or red or tasty or juicy or I mean, obviously that's a feature of the apple, but um, I mean, it is grown automatically. Okay, many people say yes, it is in a result of evolution. Many thousands of millions of years, this apple has formed till now. It was maybe something other animal, or maybe apple was before any other fruit or any other species, and after millions of years now it is as a apple. Okay, that's one explanation. That makes sense as well. But I want to bring your attention towards physical world which we know very well. But I want to give you the some other facts about physical world. Okay, what does it mean by facts? Because our physical world gives us facts, and based on facts we conclude something. And when I say we conclude something, it does mean our brain concludes something. Does that make sense? So it means that facts is something which is meaningful our brain. And who give that meaning to our brain? Well, that's how it is. That's how it is nature. Everybody can say, well, how is it nature? I mean, uh, that apple is very juicy. That apple was red. It was a round shape. Well, who give these? Who define this apple? Everybody define apple, but who told everybody to define this thing? Well, everybody knows. No. Who was the first person to know that this is a called apple? Well, so it's a very interesting debate. And the first person who gave that name, obviously he or she must imagine from the mind, isn't it? And that in the result of that imagination, that person give the name Apple. And then later generation or people inspired from that person, and that name transferred to the next generation, to the neighbors, to the next country, to the next city, and everybody knows now this is an apple. Imagine if that person, that apple was not labeled as an apple, that apple was labeled as a car, for example. So then what should be happen? Well, everybody will call it car. So it means that the first time after imagination, somebody label the name of that person or that object which is around us, and that based on, and that become a fact. Okay, and based on that fact, our brain process this information and turn into a reality. We call it, it's a reality, but that's a fake reality, isn't it? Well, that is, I'm saying that that's a car, that's an apple. Other person can say it's a car. Now I say it's a red apple. Any other person say it's a black car, because maybe that person lies in some other planet and he was taught by someone that this shape is called car, and that color perceived by your eye is called black, isn't it? Both are right. But who is actually right? That's a puzzle question. So, so it does mean the facts can be wrong, and facts are in result of our five senses, isn't it? Facts are in result of five senses. So let's go further. Now imagine which room you are, or where you are sitting. If you see outside of yourself, outside of your body, there is external world. For example, I just put a picture of this one. Well, you are sitting. Imagine this is a here, this chair you are sitting, and around there is a external world. In the external world, there are many chairs, is a glass, is a sofa, is a beautiful scene outside, there is sky, trees, isn't it? And who is telling you this is all these things? Well, your brain is telling. And who is telling your brain? Well, my receptions of the five senses are telling, isn't it? Now it means that we have taught these names to that brain. So that's why we are interpreting or explaining this external reality in our brain, isn't it? Now, for example, that is a sky. If I say it is a water and this is a sky, for example, this is, or this is not a tree, this is a chair, and this is a tree. For example, many thousands or million years ago, somebody named it as a tree. So now if your guidance, which is brain is receiving through five senses, is wrong, or we can say is a relatively correct, what you have been told you are perceiving. So it does mean the first time anybody who is giving you the reality or the names of the object, that gives the physical paradigm of the external world, and that physical paradigm is creating a reality, and that reality is a reality for you, but is not reality for any other person or any other species. Probably you think this is reality for you, not for everyone. Maybe this is a beautiful scene for you, is a beautiful house. Maybe somebody does not like this, isn't it? Or somebody does not believe on these things which you saying these are beautiful. Yeah. So let's go further, and we will conclude about this. What about the relationships? For example, there are some people in your house or friend family. You are in relationships, okay? Who gave these relationship name? For example, that's my wife, that's my daughter, that's my friend, family, teacher, brother, sister, neighbor, or any other. So these are all labels we were educated by our society, yeah, and that also our physical reality. Because I can touch my children, I can feel them, I can hug them, obviously. So now the question is, if you are perceiving incorrectly or wrongly the external world, including the relationship or other human beings. So maybe the other human beings are also fake, or they have been taught incorrectly to you by someone, isn't it? Like Apple have been, you have been told that this is Apple, and actually that is not Apple, that is something else in other frame of reference. The same thing, the same person is something else, but you have been told that this person is your child or your wife or your husband or your father or your, so now you are uh, considering it as a reality, and you will live your whole life with this reality. You will not even think that maybe this information is wrong. Maybe there is no father. Maybe there is no child. That's my own perception, which I have been told for many years, and now I accept they are. And is now that's a possibility. Yeah, well, that's a possibility. It means that there is no physical world in reality, in actual reality. Everything is taught to you. You have been conditioned to accept by your brain, and you are with them. Yeah. Uh, yeah. Well. Yeah. I think so, because therefore I do not attach emotionally with these people, because they have been enforced in upon your life by someone. Well, yeah, that is a cause of a broken relationship, because you are not emotionally connect with that person, or these type of people or this nation. That's why you will leave them. because these are not reality or real type of people for you. Or we can say that they have been enforced in your life through emotional intelligence. As a physical person or as a physical object, they have been conditioned to you accept them or know them or acknowledge them, and you did. But imagine that if you were bring a reality, there is no person. That person you touch or you feel as a kid or as a partner or as a parent, actually they don't exist. It is your perception. It is just perception of of an image created in your brain through your incorrect information received by your five senses. Uh, uh, do, are you familiar with the psychotic patient, like schizophrenia type of people, people who are hallucinated, who have uh, mental issues? What are the problem there? Because they think that there is something somewhere, but actually there is no one. But the same thing, a normal person say that yes, he is my son, he is my father, and she is my sister, of course. But the other person, the psychotic person, think other way around. He says there is a person, but actually in reality, as a physical reality, there is no one, and you call that person a patient, a psycho patient, because he is hallucinated. He thinks the reality in a different way than the normal being, isn't it? So forget about that person, but there is another reality for that person. Maybe you are psycho in his eye, in his psycho patient, which you are saying that he or she is a psycho patient. So both are psychopatient for each other, because you think that there is people and you are considering them your father, husband, wife, mother, and other person. There is empty space in the room, and he says, "Oh, there is my mother is sitting, or maybe there is any other girl is sitting or boy is sitting there." But actually, there is no boy. You know, there is a two different worlds, two different entirely paradigm. It's scary, isn't it? Let's try to understand. And the same in the same way, you perceive whole entire universe. You have been taught that there are galaxies, there are millions of stars and millions of sun, st- meteoroids, millions of solar system, far distancing, and our tiny Earth is one of these, isn't it? So that's the whole paradigm we have been taught. Because you can, maybe if you are scientist, you can see through telescope or a very high advanced microscope some of the solar system. And you have imagined that that's the whole entire universe is like this. That's your paradigm. And you think that it's a reality, isn't it? But for example, your for example, imagine you don't have five senses, or your five senses have been diluted or polluted. Now your brain is processing that information received from your organs, isn't it? And now the brain, the picture or the conclusion from your brain will be something else. So it means that the brain is deceiving you. Brain is very intelligent organ, but it is based on information received by something, and I mean five senses, and that reality it process the things and makes you a reality, but that could be a fake. That's why many people don't successful in life, because their brain is informing or misguiding that person, isn't it? Well, let's see. So I'm telling you about some these all inside. That's an external reality, which we call physical reality, which we can perceive from our five senses. Now let's look into the other way around. Now I'm looking inside me. First, your face was outside, and you are looking around you, which we were discussing. Now look inside yourself. Okay, when we look inside ourselves, so what is inside you? Well, oh, I have many human body system inside me. Oh, well, I have circulatory system, I have nervous system, I have respiratory system, I have digestive system, I have skeleton inside me, I have neurons, I have many organs and blah, 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 blah. Isn't it? But have you, okay, but have you been taught about this? Yes, my teacher told me, my media told me, okay, and that's why I think that I am, because I breathe as well. Well, I know, I see my blood as well. I have blood inside me, and blah blah blah. So there are so many things you have inside you, and you have felt, you have experienced, um, not in a real manner, but on a superficial level. Apparently, you can think, oh yes, I have liver, I have stomach, I have intestine, I have heart. Oh yeah, I have lungs, of course. But have you seen them? Why you can't see your own lungs? Why can't you see your own cells? Why you can see tiniest object in the universe outside your world, but you cannot see inside of your lungs. You cannot see, let's say, coronavirus or any bacteria inside you. Why you cannot see? Well, you can say I have a limited information through my five senses. My eyes cannot see that tiny object which bacteria has. Well, I cannot feel the blood cells because of I don't have equipment naturally inside my body. Maybe I can feel only, or any other scientist externally can see inside bacterias or millions of billions of cells inside me or atoms inside me. Isn't it? That's the only answer you have. But what about if external world does not exist and you have perceived that the scientists have concluded that you are made of billions atoms and tissues and organs and atoms, and that you have accept as a reality. That's why you can feel it. You are feeling that. But without your five senses. So it means that five senses have very limited thing, very limited organs, very limited receptors, isn't it? But you have to accept the information of on others only, like scientists. Well, there is also inside me which I cannot see. Well, what is that? Oh, that's a ego. Oh wow, it's my favorite. It's my favorite. Well, everybody has ego, yeah, and everyone is egoistic and have a balloon. That balloon becomes ego when something get annoyed you see or you heard or you imagine in your mind, and that ego just balloon expand and expand and expand, and sometime it bursts, and when it bursts when you die actually. Well, uh, it's very scary. So when any person dies, it means that its body dies, isn't it? No, its body dies, but also its ego dies as well. The person dies because its ego dies. If ego does not die, the person cannot die. Well, that's a other opinion, um, but what I'm trying to say that we did not see the ego inside me, through my five senses, but I know that there is an ego inside me, or everybody has ego, isn't it? Well, so ego is a physical reality. No, 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 no. It's a inside hidden invisible reality, but I can feel through my body, through my emotions, isn't it? Okay. But what is the relationship here? So what I'm trying to say, that ego inside everyone, me or you or everyone, with my parents, with my children, everyone who's living on this planet has ego, and that size of balloon of ego inside us change with respect to our knowledge, with respect to our vision, our piece of information, our self perception or deception created by our brain, and that makes our ego balloon big, 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 because of other things which I will tell you in the next few slides. Yeah. So what happens when the ego uh, when you believe on physical reality more and more? Like, you earlier, you believe this is the apple, this is a car, this is a flower, this is a house, this is a these are clothes, they are this is uh, that is my mom, that is my brother. So you believe on that, right? Because they are in your physical world. And that's why when you believe more, then your ego expand, give you more confidence, and will say, oh, hey, you are very confident because you believe on this, and you get in this world, and you that makes you successful in your eye, because you have super ego. And many people in our world have super ego. So many people in our world, they have ego, and that is our brain. In our we have our identity, we have ego, we have super ego and super ego and more super ego and more super ego, because more knowledge and more belief on physical world, uh, taught by other people, by my teacher, by my parents, by other, my ego will be more confident and will be more, and that make you know that why, what happens when your ego expands? You you hate death, you hate to become ill, because you think that your brain gives you a wrong meaning that you will die very soon, because you don't want to die, or your brain avoid you to die or does not want you to die. That's why you make your ego more strong. That's why you, because, and that you get more knowledge around you, and you try to manipulate and distort the facts so that you build your ego so that you cannot die, or you will not die. These type of feelings make you more worse and more in suffering. That is a problem why people uh, always in sufferings, in a pain. Why? Because they believe in physical world more, and physical world is not true as such, because physical world is a perception by my five senses, which can misguide me, obviously. So these are the things which makes us very, very stuff which we don't like. Okay, let's go further. What is inside me? Well, I have inside so much greatness as well. I believe on lot of things. I believe on power of insight. I also believe insight, um, good, are conscious, which give me sense of right and wrong. That brain does not give me. that someone else give me. Well, it's true in my opinion, because brain is governed by materialistic organs and information given by your five senses or your external environment. But guidance is true guidance, which makes you great in other people's eye, and before that, in your own eyes, in God's eye, you develop a sense of greatness. Yeah. And that greatness comes from some other supernatural power, isn't it? So it means that you have also inside you a sense of greatness, sense of conscious, sense of right and wrong, sense of sacrifice, sense of humility, sense of looking looking as a humble, something courageous, something like a moral values. We have a moral dominion inside us. We have a moral compass. So the question is, who gives this moral compass? We cannot see them. My brain cannot see it. My five senses cannot see or feel it. But how I can feel that? By there is these things in everyone, even they are believer or not, even they are religious or not, even they are spiritual or not. Everybody has this sense of conscious of right and wrong, isn't it? So the question is, where does these guidance or right and wrong, non-material, which I'm saying non-material things you are feeling, and you know that damn, you are damn sure that they exist. How do you know? Well, that is called spiritual or actual world. And many people, even they are doing evil things, even they, everyone has this feeling, and they actually, their brain misguide them not to admit it. Brain misguide them not to accept this. This is all delusion. This is illusion. And brain make that person away from that reality, which we call ultimate reality, which we call spiritual reality, which we call spiritual intelligence. So if your brain is not guided by your conscious, your spiritual intelligence, then you are only the material person, full of sufferings, full of pains, full of broken relationships. Nothing will be achieved in your life. You will be hollow and empty from your inside all the time. You will never be fulfilled. And that's how brain tricks with us. So it does mean, and obviously that's in lives inside me. It does mean what, that there are two worlds. What? Okay, one is a material world, which is receiving by five senses, and other is in inner world, which is receiving by who? Okay, material world is receiving by brain through five senses, and who is receiving the inner world? There should be a receiver, isn't it? Can you name it? Yes, Zara, can you name it?
Yeah, it's what you call your conscience or conscience. How do you say it?
Absolutely wonderful. Well, thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Absolutely. So everyone has conscious. Yeah, we call in Urdu shaur. Everyone has this, but more you are materialistic approach, more you will away from this thing, because your brain will guide your other five senses or your body to think that they are delusion. So they think they misguiding your other human body, five senses and other organ, that you don't believe on conscious. That's that is a diluted, that is a delusion, that is a lie. On the other hand, the fact about being a great or morality or spirituality or believe on God, on or believe on great personalities, on character, or believe on other things, prophets, and all good things, or spiritual gurus, or masters, yeah, or imams. So who these greatness is witnessed by conscious, absolutely, yeah. So it does mean that, and that conscious in modern world we call spiritual world, or we call spiritual being. So it means that uh, conscious is guiding the brain actually. So any good things in this world is guided by conscious, by the spirit. We also call it soul in many culture. These are all morals, more or less same thing. So, but material world or materialistic people, they deny all of them. Yeah. At the same time, the spiritual people also deny the material things. They say that there is nothing exists there, all is your illusion, misguided by your five senses, operated by your material, self-created brain. Anyway, that's a other level of spirituality. I'm not teaching in this lecture as a spirituality and what is a real spiritual world, but I want to give you a overview who you are actually. So you are material reality, yes, no doubt. I'm a material reality. I have hands. I'm wearing my suit. I'm sitting in a chair. I'm using computer. I'm talking with someone. Yes, that's all material reality. But there is other spiritual or invisible reality as well, which is um, belongs to conscious, which belongs to spiritual world, which is emotions, which are my guiding power within me. That is called spiritual intelligence. Yeah. So that's why spiritual intelligence is so important, because it gives you the real things like a solid rock, hills, just as a metaphor. For example, what we are seeing, actually, there is a real world behind this. Yeah, external world is a material world and inner world is a spiritual world. So there should be a harmony between the two worlds. Problem arising when it's missing. Absolutely. Wonderful. Absolutely. This is that we will come for the conclusion after this. But you got the thing. Yeah. You got the real actual thing. What we trying to think to tell you. So what is actual world? So actual world is your spiritual world inside you. So you don't have to see success in your external, in materialistic world, because all materialistic world are the names of objects and people and things which are taught in your school right from your childhood, which can be wrong because they are based on facts, obviously. But facts can be distorted, facts can be give you illusion based on other people or other expert opinion, because they are not guided by some spiritual conscious. That's why we are failed in our life, because that's a very much element missing in our world, in our personal world, which is are in real world. So there is So that's a conception. We think that white man, I'm not discussing or favor in any racist type of thing, but just for the clarity of my thing, like many people think that the white man is a superior man. He's a very intellectual person. White people, white nations are wonderful. They have done this. Yeah, because that have been taught by our world based on our materialistic paradigm. Well, there are possibility. There are so many black or Asians, brilliant minds in the world as well, isn't it? So, so that's material or perceiving world giving you always false information. That's my point. So never follow, never ever follow or the materialistic only paradigm or facts. Yeah, live in a real world, and real world is not what you have been taught or what yeah, you have been perceiving by your five senses. Material, a real world is the world which is guiding or perceiving by your conscious. So you need to empower your conscious. You need to increase your inner world. So when you will see your inner world, for example, you think that you are a cat, but actually you are lion. You have a immense power, but you, because world has given you the name cat, so therefore a lion thinks that he is a cat and he will remain cat forever. But the conscious, your spiritual power, your inner world will give you the right meaning of you, who you are. And everyone has this very superior conscious like a lion. Lion here is as a metaphor. So never try to underestimate yourself with compare with any of other person in your world. Any, don't try other external world to define you. You need to explore yourself, and you are as powerful as a lioness, as a lion. Yeah? Don't think that you are a cat. Yeah. I'm not disrespecting the cat. Just I'm just comparing. Uh, I'm giving you the meaning of my thing. So what is the real confidence? Real confidence is not what other people is giving you, or wow, you are amazing person, or you are blah blah blah, or you are very talented, or you are really scientist, or you are this. No, no, no. Real person or real confidence is what you think about yourself with the guiding power of your conscious, with your spiritual world. That is the real world. With So no matter other people are abusing you or calling you bad name, you never ever will care about them because you know that who you are. So that's a power of spirituality. That's a power of spiritual world. That's why many spiritual gurus or a great people are often tortured by other people or king or the rulers of that countries and city, and they die actually also because, but they never have this suffering. We call this suffering is not suffering for them, but they die with smiling face because they know that. So because suffering is only for materialistic people, suffering is not for the spiritual guided people. So that's, see, that's the power of the thing which is inside us. So uh, let's going in the last stages of so we know that what is spirit or conscious or soul is, yeah, and everybody has this sense, and 95% will refuse this fact, this actual reality, which we call ultimate reality. But we don't need to care about these people, yeah, and we need to inspire them so that they can believe. So you tell what is the single biggest thing spiritual dimension create. The single in my Dr. Stevens says is trust. You start to try trust other, and other people start to try trust on you. So when you are spiritually very sound, the whole world is yours. In any relation you are, or even you are a poor socio-economic class as well, whole world serve you, and you trust on the whole world as well. That's why the spiritual gurus and yogis and babas and many, they have great spiritual life, and every person love them, and they love them as well. I see many of great uh, babas, gurus, yogis, monks, who the people think that they are my best friends. And any time when they are in suffering, they go and they relieve their suffering. Why is that? That is because of modeling, because they are spiritually intelligent. So, but it does not, and they have a great relationship, and they experience actually phenomena of synergy because they trust everyone. They never say that, oh, they belongs to this community or they belongs to this community. He or she cannot come to me because he belongs to this sect or this sect or this sect. Never, ever. That's the power of spiritual or spiritual world. Because spiritual world takes the materialistic world beyond from suffering. Not only objects, but also the relationships. Now, here is a quick comparison. Now, this is the materialistic comparison with spiritual comparison. Now, the material world, senses by your five senses, is a physical world, okay? That is a reality. For you, is a reality. That's based on facts. That is perceived by your five senses. That makes you intellectual. Or actually, you are not. You are stupid, actually. Uh, is a factual, because I'm very factual. Many people are proud to be say I'm very factual. Okay, but they are very fearful. They are fear of being ill. They are fear of being death early. They are fear to be become poor. All the time, fears, phobias, they are in, or because they are in suffering, and they think that they will die or they will die or they will die. Every decision or thoughts in the mind is based on a fear, which maybe take that maybe take to them the deathbed. That's all product or feature of physical believers. Now let's the people who believe on spiritual world, or who are actually in spiritual world, they don't deny physical things. Actually, they actually take the benefit of the physical world, but in reality, they believe there is a non-materialistic world. There is a ultimate reality which is conscious, which we call many uh, religion call religious people call their god, guiding power, actual or real, because they believe on actual things. Their actual statements are beyond their prejudice, biased, or racism, or any other mixing of things. They have conscious, and they have, instead of mind or information, they have wisdom. So there is a difference between being an intellectual person or a wise person. So they know that what is right and wrong. They have a great happiness, peace, and pleasure all the time in their life. Never been like in suffering or stuff. Or if they come any point of view, if in any stage they feel any suffering, they don't perceive that thing as a suffering. Suffering is a perception only for materialistic people. They think that they are immortal, and yes, they are. Man is immortal when because man is in point of view, man is a spirit, and spirit never dies. Only materialistic body dies, and that disappeared. And that spirit is in an inner voice within every person. So, according to Dr. Stephen Covey's paradigm, that the vision is from mind, that passion is from heart, and discipline from your body, that is governed by your conscience and spirit. And we must endorse conscious every day, every day, every day. And these are, and then if we find it, we will find the vision, discipline, passion, and conscious. And if they are the iceberg within them, so we can see only this part of small vision. Under we have so much, and this is the discipline. Other people can see the small portion of your life, but there is big depth inside your discipline. And same thing is about passion. You are passionate, people can see only this external world, but inside in spiritual world you have lot of passionate related things. And same thing is about conscious, which is our topic of today. So this is the conscious. So people can see on a tip of your conscious or spiritual power, but inside you are moral person. You are like a servant. You see the power of behind us being a spiritual. You become more servant type of attitude. You become more humble. So spiritual people never become authority. Authority is only the materialistic product. They are compassion, they are people oriented, respectful, have full integrity, they take responsibility, they are very intuitive people as well. huh? Because they know actually the reality of everything or most of the thing. So this is one of the favorite quote of myself as well, and also from Dr. Stephen Covey. And he said, we are not human being having a spiritual experience. We are actually spiritual being having a human experience. So this is a wonderful actually finding in terms of quote by a French theologian and thinker, as is absolutely is. So many people say that out of the box thinking. What is out of the box thinking? Out of the box thinking you will get when you will believe only on spiritual world. Not only believe on spiritual world, but actually you are living in spiritual world. So sorry, forget, just pardon me. Don't believe on spiritual world, because believe can be wrong. Spiritual world does exist actually, and is the only real world. So we don't need to believe on this. So you believe on those things which you construct. Spiritual world you don't construct, because it actually is. So you know what I'm trying to say. So people who believe on spiritual world, who lives in spiritual world, their thinking actually becomes out of the box. That's why if you go to any spiritual master or great people who believe, who living with spiritual intelligence, they always give you the decision or thought or a wisdom out of the box. You will go with your problem, with your suffering, and you will get entirely different things. Yeah. So out of the box is very much close to the people who are living with spiritual thing, and you then leave a legacy. All great people in this world, they have given the meaning to their life. And that's why, because their body is surviving to live, their heart is creating a relationship, their mind is learning knowledge, but actually their spirit leave a legacy, because that is a thing which is governing all other things. Now in modern world is other way around. This mind is governing all things. That is a problem of today's world, and they deny actually spirit. So that's a problem of this world. So this is a whole picture of the life from the of a person who is a great. He is a model. This is, you see, this is a model here. If I make it big, yeah, this is, so that's your spiritual, because you start to inspire other, you unleash your potential. Why people don't unleash the potential? Because they don't living in spiritual world, or guiding by conscious. They are guided by only brain, and that's why they are in great pain most of the time. It's a reality. So what is our biggest challenge? Who I am? Well, spirit and matter both needs to go together, definitely. Priority must be given to spirit, because I'm living, I'm here. And but if I want to have a taste of a great death, a great death means peaceful death, which I will not be scared of, then start to live in my real world, which is a spiritual world. And from there I need to get benefit of material world, which then material world gives you the great blessings and gives you the real things and real matters of your life in every relationship. So that's it. That's all about my understanding who I am, part 5. And I hope that this session have given you a big perspective, and you're maybe given the shift of your paradigm, of your mind, of your thought, to give a direction to your life. Not only the listening level, but also to real practical with the daring and courageous person. So I am available for any question if you have now. Speak freely, please, and then I will finish this session.
Yeah, I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so because I was going through like self-discovery, and your these lessons are helping me in discovering myself more, and the topic today is also related to that. Just before your session, this lesson, I was going through one question in my mind, which I think is relatable, and I can ask you to give me answer for that.
Yeah, sure.
I got my answer, but I want an expert advice for that. Second opinion, I would say. I was thinking that whatever struggle I am facing or whatever challenge I'm going through, uh, while discovering myself or knowing who am I, like not like you said, not from the external world's point of view, to satisfy myself that who I am. I am on this journey, and in all that, I was just wondering if, because I've been brought up by my foster parents, so I was wondering if at all they know what I'm going through. Shall I discuss it with them? Maybe they went through all this in their life. So these were the questions, arising in my mind when I was trying to discover myself. And while progressing towards this, I got answer, and the answer was because I found them very simple in their life as compared to my biological parents. So I felt that if I can discuss this with my biological mother, I can connect it very well as compared to my foster parents. So is it related to my reality? Like, the question that arises in my mind, or I just shared with you, is it like I'm on the right path? That is it, does it make sense that people say that separation anxiety of the kid from the mother from a young age is the reason? But I concluded that it's not just the separation anxiety, like the emotional intelligence that was disturbed. Today I feel it was the mental and the spiritual and the physical, like all the four of the intelligences were disturbed. But after your this session, I can say it was actually my reality, my facts, my inner world that was disturbed the most. Is it?
Right. Yeah, that's a great question. It's a great question, and is more a personal question as well, but I try to address this thing.
Sure.
Uh, that is my personal opinion. I might be wrong as well. Yeah, because
Okay.
every person is actually is a universe from inside.
Right.
So what I can I can judge or I can comment on this situation which you're saying based on my own understanding, and
Yeah.
you can take according to your own level of understanding. So
Okay.
now the question, now the comment on this is, in real world, which I call actual world, or many people call actual world, there is no such thing as a biological parents and the foster parent or
Mm-hmm.
people who foster.
Mm-hmm.
These are name given by our society. And like I said in my session in the earlier, like we name apple, we name car as a car. Somebody else given the car name as an apple and apple name as a car. Then the reality will be different. The
Mm-hmm.
same thing, because we have been living in this world and we have memories as well, the phenomena of memory which is given by our brain, that and we have been taught and nurtured in the way from our childhood, from our society, consciously, unconsciously, or subconsciously, in any point of view, in any dimension, that the separation from biological parents give the anxiety, or maybe the inner peace, if any person did not get it or is struggling from many years and years, then and make the person in suffering in somehow is related with that, actually in my point of view is not for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
That is because of we have been taught by ourselves, but through our other people, through stories of the people, through our language, and that language create our mental images about those thought which we have been generated by other people or maybe by ourselves as well. My own brain may mislead me and give me unnecessary anxiety inside me throughout years. And because that reality is a external, belongs to external world, so I don't need to worry about that, because maybe my parents, uh, uh, which I'm calling my parents, that parent is given the name by my society, by my world. So, and that's a temporary label. So why I should worry for these temporary things where now I have now known the reality. So in this world, millions of children are without parents. They are born in the hospitals or on the roads or in many society without parents, not even the foster parents, then not even with the biological parents. Even they
Right.
don't know what the parents means. So when they are brought up, they live without parents, without support of parents, but their now parents are their society, and they are very successful in their later age if they are guided by conscious, if they discover themselves who they are, so they will never care about their parents, or why he does not know about any parents, or the people who have been for example are they don't know about their dad, or in any way. So when the children they brought up, uh, if their society is telling you or pushing you or pinching them, or their own thoughts pinching them, which are wrong, that the suffering will come to you and you will remain in suffering. Whether if your real parents come to you and they do apologize to you will even not be happy,
Correct.
because you have been trained to be suffered by external world outside of you. So you need to believe that your parents are living outside of your world. Your
Got it.
fostering parents are living outside of your inner world. So
Got it.
why you are empowering them to control you where
Correct.
they don't exist, or they have been labeled by society, and uh, and now they maybe are just part of memories, and even these memory will be weaker if you will try to ignore this fact. And that's a fact actually. You're
Yeah.
talking about fact,
Yeah.
because uh, the child is separated by real biological parents and were adopted by other fostering
Yeah.
people. That's a fact, but that
Yeah.
fact is not a ultimate reality. Like we learn about this thing, you need to get rid of this thing if you live in a real ultimate world, which is an
Yeah.
actual world, which is beyond the other people's label, or these temporary relationships. Even these relationships also beyond any husband or wife or children or sister or brothers or any, all they are from external world, and that is our label only, not the real reality. But the real reality is which you have inside you, and that is a reality which is guided by your conscious, and you need to develop that intelligence. So, and then once at one stage you will know that those suffering which you were suffering, actually these were just a fantasies. Now you are
Correct.
living in a real world. It will be other way around. So
Correct.
that's once you will change the paradigm of your thought pattern and believe on more spiritual or inner world, then all suffering generated by external world will automatically eliminate, and then you will be suffering free, like uh, like being taught by many great gurus and business thinker and mentors or prophets or imams. All have the same guiding thoughts to the people. So
Right.
I can say whatever. So the very much thought which is pinching you is actually at fault, and you need to
Mm-hmm.
correct it.
Yeah. Getting it.
You need to correct it. Anything outside the world must not control you, whether they are parents, whether they are your children, or husband or wife, or brother, sister, or biological relations, or other relation, or anything, or your degrees, or your childhood bad experience, or anything. These are all
Right.
belongs to materialistic world. That's the whole power of spiritual world. When you
Yeah.
start to live with spiritual guiding conscious world, then your sufferings are going to disappear.
Right.
Yesterday's big problems are now today's fantasy, and you just will smile. Oh, how I was feeling. Oh, I was
Yeah.
living in this
Yeah.
thought or in this feeling for
Yeah.
years.
Yeah. So I can say one thing here. Sorry to interrupt you if
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have not finished. Say instead of developing the memories, we should train our mind to see the good in it. That's what you are saying, right? Instead of just developing memories and dwelling on the memories and getting results or conclusions from the memories, like you
Yeah,
said, no,
because
it should fantasize you.
that's correct, because memory only store the information of external world.
World, correct. Okay, got it.
So when you will weak your memories or deliberately try to um, disappear the memory, then you will come back to your original world, which is your
Original world.
inner
Yeah,
world,
inner
which
world, the
you were
reality.
born actually,
Yeah,
which you were born, or everyone is born. So what
right.
happened when we born as a baby in our parents, or without parents, or foster parents, or with society. When we start to live, that adding the labels and association throughout my life, and because all are wrong information, all are
mm,
self-created labels given by people, given by societies and culture. That's why I develop myself, and obviously because that's not guided by our conscious, that's
mm.
why I will remain in suffering. No
Yeah.
matter I will become millionaire, I will remain uh, eating a sleeping pills, or
Mm.
remain in a bad behavior, or
Yeah.
may in a crying mode all the time. However, if you have discovered yourself and who you are, then no matter you are poor, no matter you are either divorced, or your children have died, or your parents have died, or you don't have any blood relationship, or your any relationship, you will never care, because
Yeah.
all these relations are external fake world or
Okay.
materialistic world. Once you
Very
are
good point.
living with your internal world,
Mm.
never will think will suffer, and
Very
never
good point.
never allow other people or other objects or your past memories into your current movements, because
Right.
all are fake, all were temporary, were told you, were conditioned you, and now you know the reality. These were temporary, these were fake, these were, so I should not train my brain based on these materialistic facts. I will live with my actual things,
Mm.
with my spiritual things, and I will enjoy the materialistic world now. So they don't control me, I will control my external world.
Mm. Right. Thank you very
So
much.
yeah, you're very welcome. So that's it. Now, yeah, the question, if we have, if you have any question, I will, or you are watching this recording, you can leave your comment as well under the video, or you can contact me as well, and I will get back to you for any concern or any helping or any sharing of your life, any incident. So that's it. And thank you very much. And I will see you in our next coaching session in the same series, part 6, Who I Am in a Different Dimension. Thank you.